Yeah, this is just... Hey, Huples Cat! Welcome to a very special edition of unboxing the June 2023 Apocabox. Shouldn't be too long, but grab yourself a coffee and a vegan snack, and let's see why this is so special. I'm also including a review of Full Spectrum Survival's newsletter and his Patreon cards. You get 5 of them. These are $10 American by his Patreon site. Very consistent, well worth it. The cost of lamination, doing the photographs, and actually postage probably takes away most of that money. I'm sure it's like nearly $2.50 American to post to me. Looking at this one particularly, because I'm a nurse, so how do you tell the difference between a bruise and a broken foot? They both cause swelling, discomfort, pain, and they both have bruising. The swelling has to be severe and accompanied by bruising and discoloration. It's more likely to be a fracture. Deformity, if it's deformed and misshapen, it is a sign of a fracture. If the pain is severe and does not improve or worsen by movement, it may be a fracture. If you can move your foot without much significant pain or discomfort, it's most likely to be a bruise. If you can't stand on the foot or you have limited movement, it's probably a fracture. You'll often hear a popping or a cracking sound at the time of injury, and that often is the break. Now, severely bruised feet and broken foot bones are handled the same way. Control swelling, limit all but essential movement, and seek additional care if things get worse. If you suffer fever or signs of internal bleeding, seek care immediately. So this is better than nothing, but like me, you should have a few questions. How do you control swelling? Elevation. Get it higher than the heart. This increases venous return from the area and makes bleeding into the tissues less. You can apply ice, not directly onto the skin, but make sure it's wrapped in a cloth and change it frequently. The best way of doing this is to use frozen peas. A lot of you are going to go for compression. You absolutely should not compress a possibly broken bone in the first 24 hours. In fact, I've seen people lose limbs because people have done that. For example, a femur fracture, a leg fracture, can bleed 2 to 3 litres of blood into the surrounding tissues over the first 24 to 48 hours. Obviously, if you put a tight compression bandage on it at the time of injury, you're going to get death to the tissue beneath the compression. Rest is vital if you can. Don't use it. Don't use the limb. But move it little bits every so often. Don't just go, oh, I'm not moving my wrist. Like, try a little bit of exercise where you can without causing any severe pain on a regular basis. You don't want the muscles to get very weak. If you have fever, take Tylenol. Do not take aspirin. Aspirin will cause further bleeding into the joint. And Advil shouldn't be taken if you're over the age of 40 for various reasons. You can take it if it works for you, I don't really care. For severe joint pain and bruising, I actually would take Advil and Tylenol, 2 of each, every 2 hours, 4 hours between, at least in the first 24 to 48 hours. So what do you do if it's hemorrhaging and hemorrhaging and it's swelling and swelling, getting tighter and tighter? Well, you go to hospital. If there is no hospital, what you need to do is get a sterile needle, sterilize the skin, stick the needle in very slowly and carefully, and try to aspirate out any fluid you can. If that fails, you'll have to use a sterile scalpel and open the wound. If you have to do either of those and grid down, I strongly suggest you use an antibiotic beforehand and for 7 days afterwards. Have a look for it. Have a look at the antibiotic. What will work on skin infections? Sterilize the area as much as you can. Now, Brad sent me those cards for years and years and for free, and eventually got the better of me and I decided to patronise them, and it's very well worth it. Most of the cards are actually in sealed waterproof boxes, actually used for dishwashing stuff, and they're actually sealed away in survival boxes for the apocalypse, because I figure these information cards are going to be very useful to give to people who have no idea what they're doing. I'll be too busy working, but they're always light evening entertainment. Currently, this is my card box containing the newsletter and the photographs. When this box is full, I will transfer the contents into a sealed waterproof container and store them. So when people say to Brad, can I buy the full set of your cards? I doubt he has them all. He may have actually kept the images and the text on file, but he's been doing this for many years. It's a huge amount of information. I rate it A+ for almost everybody. I really do think it's something that you actually can do. Bear in mind, out of the $10, about $2 at least is going to postage. And then if you add in the cost of the photographs being printed out and the lamination, you're getting a pretty good bargain. This is a knee brace. It saved me, and I'm still using it today. Because I fell down the stairs, I missed one of the steps and landed on my knee, and I think I may have a slight chip fracture of the kneecap. Either way, it really hurts, and it's been about a week now. So I did the rest, and I did the Tylenol, and I did the Advil, and I used one of these to support the wound, but also to stop me from moving it too much. I mentioned in the video I did on that I wanted to get extras. I did. As you can see, I got various types. Some large sizes weren't available for me, so I couldn't get a wrist support for myself. And I don't actually use the afterbite, but Kitty does, and we're having a real problem with deer flies lately. So I have that in storage, but I still have some more to get. If you want to store it out of the box, it's quite easy because you can flatten them. If you store them out of the box, make sure you label the size of the actual product. It is on this, but these can fade and be removed. Alright, I was kind of unimpressed with the June Apocabox. I showed it to Kitty, and one of the items she really liked. This, a black, large fanny pack, or an urban waist pack in Apocabox speak. So it's pretty good. I've got the Velcro on if you want to put patches on there because you're a Boy Scout. Has an open zip at the front. Doesn't open all the way. Doesn't have side pockets in here. It's got two little side pockets which are kind of useless except for basic stuff like a lighter or a bit of coin or something like that. Stuff's going to fall out of there. Careful what you put in there. But at the back you have a pretty solid pack, and it's water resistant for sure. I was quite happy with that. And what makes this really good is the last pouch. Ta-da! There you go. Put small flat items in here. There's some strapping in here that you might need in a hurry. You can have this on the front of you. Just drop it down and grab whatever you need. Kitty like this. Straps are reasonably durable. So this is where I like to put a waist pack. I think this is really good. And like I said, this is definitely an interesting idea. I like this. Really well worth having. Maybe about $25 to $35 for me. Fits well. It's really snug. Because most people wear them like this. And I always think that's a mistake. Depending on what you're doing, if you need to pack on for storage, you've got a backpack on. What can I say about these? Very flimsy, not the greatest. There are metal versions of this with actually the fishing cord already attached, and I have quite a few of them. They're called with springs, so you can automatically fish without being present. Yeah, if you need somewhere to store a line, this is it, I guess. Handrail, plastic. Pretty sure this might float. Might have some applications for that. Not altogether sure how great this would be. Again, there are other versions of this, and I have some of the better ones. I'm not really sure this has any place at all in my gear. This is always a good thing. Lyme disease is pretty bad, and it tells you how to use it, and it's fairly straightforward. You don't have to twist it, which I'm kind of concerned about. It's just a pull out, but anyway, I prefer to have proper tweezers, and I have some. But this is a useful standby. People don't like stuff like this. I actually do. There's no way I'd ever carve this. This is a little tiny little scoop. And you can put some rope in it and hang it around your neck, I guess, if you want to scoop stuff. I'm always happy to get fire tins and stuff like this because frankly I'd never buy it. I have no need to buy this tinder whatsoever. I have birch, I have everything I need around me naturally that's free. But it's always a good standby to have stuff like this, especially if it's not being paid for directly. If I was into animal slaughter, I'd get one of these and I'd use it, but actually this is also fairly useful, and Kitty, who's also vegan, said this is fairly useful. It actually is very clear what you're supposed to do. It's also very useful to actually be able to reprocess stuff and make your own stuff in the absence of a store. Ask Hutch. I'm impressed enough I'm going to have a look and see what else they've got. Last and probably not least is this. Now Otzi-Man was found when the glaciers melted in the Alps, and he's quite old. He's also very dead. The thing with him is he'd travelled quite widely and he'd done a lot of trading, and he had a really nice copper axe on him. And of course we get a steel one, sadly, and copper would have been nice. You ever get to the end of a video and think, oh, forgot to do this. I have absolutely no need for this at all. It's a spoon, but if I want it to be, it can be a fork. Works well, not very comfortable, not very long, not very good for me, and has just fallen apart. Yes, it's meant to fall apart so you can use it separately. That makes sense, I guess. So you go like that. Alright. So it can go together, but this is faulty. Pull it like that and you pull it out, and there's a little catch there that goes into here. This one, catch is missing. I actually carry normal cutlery with me. I've tried plastic sporks, I've tried a titanium spork, I've tried stuff like this. It's all garbage. Just carry and accept the fact it's extra weight, a fork, a spoon, and a knife. This is of course now very loose, so something did break in it. So it just shows you how durable this side of the product is. But yeah, this is just... Okay, I've effected a repair, and this is never going to last well, and I really don't advise you get stuff like this. This is just metal junk. This is just metal junk. That's it for my 2023 June Apocabox review. I rated B. The only thing that saved it was the urban waste pack, otherwise known as a fanny pouch, a man purse, because it's actually pretty big and it's pretty comfortable, it's pretty useful. I haven't got an immediate use for it, but stuff like that's always kind of useful to have in storage. It's always kind of useful to pull out for various things. So it won't be long and I'll be getting the August Apocabox, and dying to see what that is. Hoping it's nice, because August is Huples' cat's birthday and I'll be turning 59. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Doodles. This has been a Tiny Terrier 2023 production. Oh, he's camera shy. Woofy! Say hi.